Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Insta360 Go 3. Now, this officially launched yesterday, June 27th, 2023, and this particular model, the 64 gig capacity, retails for roughly $400 US. You can pick this up in a 32, 64, or 128 gig capacity, and if you're wondering why, it's because the internal storage is the only storage. So unlike the DJI Action 2 that has internal storage as well as the ability to use a micro SD card, this does not. But the Go 3 does have a lot going for it. Yes, I said that, and I'm not trying to be cute. So this builds upon the previous generations and really improves on it in many ways. But one of the most significant ways that I think a lot of people were hoping for was actual resolution. And that, unfortunately, we're up to 2.7K, but you are not going to see 4K out of this yet. And I do think that was a major missed opportunity for Insta360. And for those of you that follow my channel, you already know that I think Insta360 is a great company. At least conceptually, they are pushing the envelope more than anybody, I could say, really in the entire tech industry on some days of the week. This is one of them, because not only do you have the tiniest action camera here on Earth, which is just incredibly unique, but then in addition to that, they've now created a docking station for it, if you will, that's going to take this, as I try to bring it into focus, not sure what's going on here, to the next level. And that's because it effectively doubles battery life, gives you a screen so that you can actually see what you're filming, and the screen articulates. You'll see that in a moment. So a lot to like, but just know that 2.7K resolution is still, that is the ceiling. Now, I do think that Insta's missed opportunity with this, as I unbox it, was to make that dock an actual place to transform this 2.7K little egg, if you will, for filming content into a true action camera. And in doing so, if they could have figured out a way to make the base station that you're looking at right now deliver 4K capability as well as storage expansion, well, then we're cooking with, well, you fill in the blank. But just being a dock, just being a way to essentially extend battery life and give you a preview screen and physical buttons, that's not a bad thing. But again, I do think it was a missed opportunity. So I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks that. I highly doubt it. Because then it would have been even more dynamic. So they're telling us, I can't read this from a distance, the back of the camera dissipates heat and will get hot during use. Avoid prolonged direct skin contact. Well, we'll do that. And again, for those of you that are wondering, I did purchase this. Pretty sure I stated that at the top of the video. This was not sent to me for review. So we'll go ahead and remove that, throw that in the box. Now the contacts are exposed. And this is magnetic, so that does give you another, I would say breadth of capability for where you want to mount this, how you want to use it. But you can see, you just drop that in there. I'm going to leave the little lens, the plastic covering on the lens for now. It's charging because this does act as a charging dock. You should be able to see that LED is red now or amber, depending on at least how your eyes interpret it. And then we have contact points here, not contact, but a magnetic latching system for docking it, which you'll see in a moment. Power button right there on the side, as well as a function button, and then the screen. Now they're telling you, I'm reading this, we do have water resistance here, that the Action Pod is water resistant only. Please do not use it underwater. So basically the Go 3 can go, I think it's up to 15 or 16 feet, but we're talking about just the Go 3, which I believe this is the release button for it right here, or at least that's what I thought. But the actual pod, you cannot get this wet. It can't be submerged, is what I should say. Again, water resistant, but that's all. Record button right there at the top right. And then we have our Type-C port for charging. And then it says right here, please, or rather press and hold the button to remove the Go 3. So that's what I was just trying to do, but it didn't seem to release it in spite of my best effort. But now it seems to be attempting to record, which I did not mean to do if I did that. But let's go ahead and we're getting the language screen now. I want to peel this off so you can actually see the display. And the beauty of the display, I think this was really smart what they did, but as I already mentioned, to have a little touchscreen display like this means you can flip that up and see what you're filming. If you're vlogging, you get the picture. Also, remotely, this will work as a monitor, but I don't know what the range is going to be like, so let's not start to pretend that this can do things that it can't. But conceptually, very, very cool. Let's continue to go through those accessories. Everything is magnetic here, so they are including all sorts of magnetic accessories, very similar to the DJI Action 2. And you can be sure a comparison will be coming. Last item in here is the necklace. And look, there are quite a few instructions here that I'll get to a little bit later off camera, as well as the actual accessory packet here. Let's see what's in this. But this is all about being able to record in places you traditionally cannot. That's the beauty of this camera. And wouldn't be the world without silica gel. Got to keep things fresh, kids. And there is, I believe, the necklace attachment, and then here we have our charging cable. So that is everything that is in the box now, officially. Let's go ahead and move that out of the way completely. And before I wrap up this video, again, just to show you mounting options. Left, centered, right. We have flow state stabilization if you want to use it. And everything here is magnetic. This is the hat clip, I believe. So you can just, throw this on a cap. Let's see if I can get this to release, since I could not before. I'm going to power it down. And so I'm going to also peel this off, because maybe that's part of the problem that I was experiencing. Now, it doesn't appear to be. So that is the locking button. So the question just becomes, why is it not releasing? Oh, it appears to be. So it's just the magnetism. And I was just being timid. It is fragile to some degree, even though it's an action camera. But again, so if you wanted to clip this on a hat for first person point of view, I'm just trying to make sure there's no wrong way to insert this. And that is the physical button I believe to start recording. And then our preview screen, or rather actual screen, is right here. And it seems like that's it. Okay, that is it. So when I first put that in, the magnetic connection, if you will, was not that strong. And then this, you're just going to clip to, essentially a hat, as I mentioned before. Yeah, that's it. So pretty straightforward. This is a literal mounting bracket. So if we go ahead and we pull the little Go 3 out of there, it's going to just mount up like that. We have metal clasps, as well as just the magnetic force or magnetism connecting it, and then a 1/4-20 here, so you can mount that as you please, and then ball head so that you can point that in any direction you want. So that's pretty straightforward. To release it, there are these little buttons on the side. Just actuate those and remove. This appears to just be the actual suction cup, or I should say it's not a suction cup, but adhesive plate, so that you can, essentially have this set up anywhere you want. You want to put it on a dashboard, anything like that. Driving, you want, you get the picture. And then beyond the hat clip, the necklace is the other thing we have. So magnetically, I believe that's what this is. You can, I'm not going to even bother reading these instructions right now, but this will just, have this on a lanyard. And then let's say it's under your shirt, you go ahead and throw it on, and it just will stick through the material. Again, things the Action 2 can do, but this is a different beast in terms of form factor and everything. And so here's the user guide for the necklace, as I was just discussing. So again, 2.7K video, some stickers, your 1-year warranty. Pricing, definitely a little bit steep, and that's coming from me, someone who does think, and by the way, let's not forget the Type-C cable that's included, someone who does think that what Insta's been doing is pretty amazing. I mean, you can see my relationship in terms of being a user started with the 1-inch 1R, which I still think is a great action camera to this day. Modular design, I just thought it was intuitive, novel, and it does have, in my opinion, still great quality. No reason to really upgrade from this, especially since I've purchased, bought into their newer lineup of 360 cameras. So I actually have the RS brain right here. If I wanted to swap it there and get better performance out of that 1-inch sensor, I can. This is, of course, the 1-inch 360 edition, and this is a phenomenal camera. I absolutely love it. I have nothing else like it in my arsenal. And, the X3, essentially a lower quality, but water resistant, more action cam type product, if you will. And so I love both of these things. Some people would see this as redundant, but as I just mentioned, higher quality, no weather resistance, and really fragile. Still fragile, but does have weather resistance. It can get wet, it can be fully submerged. So more of an action camera, but not as good quality. Half-inch sensor versus the two 1-inch sensors in this guy. $799 for, I think, $50 for the X3. And, you have alternatives, not in the 360 world really, but in the action cam world like I have here, the Osmo Action, and then the DJI Action 2. Now, I will say, I believe the majority of the inspiration for this enclosure came from this product. I think it's really obvious. As much as I'd like to give Insta credit for it, they get credit, but it does feel a lot like they took what was novel about the design of the Action 2 and got rid of what wasn't. And again, this is a video for another time. The Action 2 was pretty much a flop. You can get this on clearance now or open box, nearly in a giveaway. 4K quality on this is phenomenal, but again, the form factor is, not as advantageous. Just go ahead and pop this open so you can see that. It's just not as advantageous as what you're getting, obviously, with the smaller Go 3. But it isn't that far apart, right? I mean, when you look at these side by side, they are not operating in completely different realms. So something to be aware of. Both have limitations. There are plenty of drawbacks with the Action 2, but there's one thing that clearly is not a drawback, and that is that it produces beautiful 4K content. You'll never get that out of this brand new Go 3, but I'll get into a deeper comparison analysis, side by side, even content quality when I step it down, because we can step down the resolution on this little guy to match this. Then you'll be able to see. But again, I think this is only an unboxing, but the missed opportunity for Insta was they're pitching this as, once you stick the Go 3 into the enclosure, it now becomes an action camera. And they're saying that because, well, from a sizing perspective, it is now pretty much as large as, well, any action camera. I don't have any GoPros here, but very similar in size to the latest gen GoPro. And that, to me, is where they made a mistake. This is incredibly cool, but at this price point even at this price point, I think they should have given us capability once docked to somehow, if they would have had to throw another sensor and circuit board in here, I really wouldn't care. But if once docked, it became a full-fledged action camera that doesn't have this resolution limitation, and, let's say they bolstered better microphone performance, just once it goes in here, it becomes a different camera, then this is a knockout product. And look, they might do that down the road, but as it stands right now, this is what you get. And it's not a bad thing if the quality lives up to the promise, but, this is almost the same price as the current GoPro. It is the same price as this guy right here, even in the modern version. This is half the price at clearance. The regular DJI Action 2, also less expensive. So I really feel like, this is expensive out of the gate. It is definitely incredibly cool, and I'm excited to start using it. But the missed opportunity, again, which I'm harping on, is once docked, this shouldn't just be extra battery life. They really, and a display. They really could have made this a different camera once docked. Of course, we would have still been working with the same lens, aperture, all of that good stuff. But had they employed another sensor, I think you're all seeing what I'm saying. Major missed opportunity to transform this and really make it directly compete with the action camera market that they are now trying to market this for. But again, not being 4K pretty much knocks it off the block, especially at that price point, out of the gate. So they may have even been smarter making this an optional rather than mandatory accessory and just selling the Go 3 the way they have historically in a very small egg, yet again, egg enclosure, I'm going to call it, but not adding functionality and all of the things, extra battery life. I just see this as more of a missed opportunity. Granted, incredibly cool, but we'll see. Maybe my mind will change over the course of use, but that pretty much rounds it out. Again, the Insta360 Go 3, the world's smallest action camera that then once docked now has, far superior battery life and overall capability, but it still cannot shoot 4K. We'll see if Insta can make me a fan of this in spite of its limitations. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe and please stay safe. Later.